Council meeting Monday, October 30, 2017, to order. Clerk call roll, please. Alderman Putoff.
Here.
Ferrari. Here. Waldorf.
Here.
Lukosius. Radke.
Here.
Sapienza. Payton.
Here.
Ballard.
Here.
Mayor Hall. Here. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, no presentations. Any public comment cards filled out? No, Your Honor. No. We have a motion to receive the minutes and place on file.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second to receive the minutes, place on file. Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the financial reports and place on file?
Closed session minutes to release. I'll just do them all. Oh, okay, got them both, got it.
Now opening for review. You know, the majority of those minutes are with collective bargaining agreements, the great majority of those. So, really by law, those aren't open. Although I think the council will agree at times that we wish those were always, or sometimes we're open to the general public, but the majority of those, again, are collective bargaining issues.
Okay, we'll move on. Financial reports. So I have a motion to receive the financial reports and place on file.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Two items I want to point out. First is the sales tax report. We're looking at $485,069, $313,295 annual tax. So we're looking at about $836,000 for the month of July. Compared to last year, it was $868,000. Sales tax is flat at $95,000, $31,000. On the motel tax receipts, one of the positive points for the month of August, the city has $44,304, which compared to last year's increase of about $3,800. So that's real occupancy is up about 2%. So that is positive.
Okay, anybody else? Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. We have a motion to receive the activity reports and place on file.
So moved, Your Honor.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Okay, we move to committees. Finance Safety Services, Chairman Putoff.
Disbursements, Alderman Radke.
Yes, Your Honor. First thing is disbursements. Total disbursements for November 1, 2017 are $2,912,143.56. I move that this report be received, placed on file, and the bills paid in the usual manner.
We have a motion and a second to receive the disbursements, place on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll. Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, we have a motion on the agenda tonight to authorize expenses for Mayor Harrell and Economic Development Director Bob Vickery to attend the Economic Development Conference in China. That's November 15th to 21st, 2017. So again, I'd like to open that up for discussion to the City Council at this point. From some of the experiences that I've looked at and some of the feedback I got, that there is a specific course of action for this. You're meeting with some captive audience and manufacturers or people who are truly have the dollars and the opportunity to invest in the United States. There is a specific agenda for it in which the city and along with other community leaders will be meeting with this captive audience to discuss the opportunities for not only the city of Peru but the entire Illinois Valley area. I think one thing we all know is that manufacturing jobs have been leaving the United States. There's a tremendous opportunity now to bring some of those manufacturing jobs back. You see some real positives as far as Chinese investments into the United States. Particularly, I think the city was very, proactive going to into Japan investments that they're having Japan locate here, and of course we've got Eager. I think despite the woes of manufacturing in the state, there are a lot of negatives. I think there are some real positives for our area. Illinois is still one of the leaders in manufacturing across the Midwest. There's some more manufacturing jobs in Illinois than you do in other Midwestern states. But as far as Peru's future, I think we need to be competitive, we need to be aggressive, and we need to be smart about our investments. We have things that nobody else in the country has. We have, of course, great infrastructure. If you remember, recently the city sold the railroad. That railroad was bought by a private individual. It was updated with millions of dollars of improvements, so we can use that same railroad now for manufacturing, and I think that's a very positive point for at least our area. Again, we're close to interstate traffic. That's positive. We're close to waterways. I think we have a great municipality as far as manufacturing, as far as training. So we have a lot of very positive variables for this. We need to keep things down as capital and investment, and that's what this, at least this slide is all about. I think we have marketed the city very well from a retail standpoint. When you're looking at manufacturing, one manufacturing plant that locates here, or LaSalle, or Spring Valley, or Hennepin, it's going to help the entire area because those dollars are going one way. So this isn't only for the city of Peru, but again, it's for the entire area. We have a number of people that will be going to help. I'll leave it up to you.
Alderman, one of the things that you didn't say was that there's a desire by this group in China. Otherwise, this conference wouldn't be happening. There's a desire to invest dollars in this area. We also have the airport. That is another huge asset for the area. I'm in favor of this. If you don't promote yourself, I don't believe anybody will promote you.
I think the key is that there's a group of people going. We were invited to go with. It's not something that we came up with on our own. There's a whole group of people going. And I think that that's the case. We need to know our weight, and we need to help the area as the best we can, the whole area, not just Peru in this particular case.
Good points in one area that I forgot to mention was that this is a follow-up. The governor had went to China with the Karras family and a number of, just a handful of people, economic development people, to kind of set the lead for this. So this is a captive audience, and it's just not throwing pamphlets out hoping something will stir up from an investment standpoint. And you can either say the glass is half full or half empty, and I think from our standpoint, you've got to look at it as half full. If you do nothing, nothing will happen. So again, we hope to accomplish something with this.
I agree with you, Alderman Powell. This is an opportunity for the city of Peru. Just a little bit more on this. Had a long conversation with Representative Long. He will also be attending this, he would be in the delegation going. He really sat down and explained how this convention would work. And it does dovetail off the governor's prior trip. We won't see people come to our door, knocking on our door, asking for, we want to build a manufacturing plant. We have to go out and beat the bushes. We have to market ourselves. This is an opportunity, like Alderman Radke said, if we miss this, it may not come back around. I would highly recommend, I'm going to vote for this, because we have to do something. We need sustainable jobs, and this is the first step.
Is there any other?
I will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Quick call roll, please.
Alderman Poff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Nay. Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Another point.
Yeah, I would just say that, this was great news. We obviously worked for it, for several years. It didn't just happen overnight. So, when I got here in 14, we had, multiple different findings within segregation of duties, and, we've eliminated all those, and confident saying going forward in the day-to-day transaction process is that we're in a good position.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to public services. Chairman Waldorf?
Your Honor, we have no report in public services this evening. However, Eric, could you update us on the projects and status, please?
Yeah, certainly. We're coming to an end of a busy year in construction in the city. Last Friday, we opened Plank Road to traffic. Plank Road construction is, we'll call it 98% complete. There is still some restoration work to be done off of the roadway. The road is open, Commerce Drive is open, and May Road is open as well. As of this afternoon, we also opened Peoria Street, our second large roadway project in the city this summer. We're working with DOT currently on some timing with the signals at Route 6 and Peoria Street, and anticipate that timing being addressed in the next day or so. And then the splash pad project continues to work through the winter on that project as long as we can, and then pick it up in the spring, and still on schedule for a summer opening.
Thank you. Chief King, do you have anything? Chief Burton? That's all for public service.
That's all?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on to report to city attorneys, ordinances, resolutions. We'll start with Special Corporate Counsel Herb Klein.
Hello, everyone. I handled a planning and zoning commission hearing on October 25th, the petition James and Bonnie Lester regarding property at 1513 Chicago Street, also known as 26 10th Street, Peru. I think you all have a copy of the minutes. The hearing was called to order. All the planning and zoning commission members were present. The request requires a text amendment to the zoning ordinance to allow a 4-unit dwelling as a special use in an R3 district, and then also a special use for this property. It's kind of unique property. I don't know if anyone had a chance to look at it. It's on 10th and Chicago Street, which is over by the high school. Former Alteri's grocery store, so they've been in the area for a long time. Bonnie Lester and her husband Jim have 2 structures on the property divided into 3 rental units. They want to divide that into 4 rental units. One of the structures only has 1 apartment, and the other side of that building is storage. They want to convert that into an apartment as well. So they're not changing the outside of the structure. They're not changing the footprint. The zoning ordinance allows it to be special use in an R3 district with 3-unit complex, but not a 4-unit complex. So, Chairman Peterson noted there were no objectors present at the hearing. He did acknowledge nobody had notified the city of any objections. He said otherwise the clerk's office makes him aware of that. He viewed the property. He didn't see a problem with it. Member Atkinson noted the unique nature of a lot and the fact that the 2 buildings were on the same lot with 1 tax bill. These were 2 separate lots, 2 separate tax bills. This wouldn't have been an issue. Commission agreed the property was unique. The granting of special use would not alter the essential character of the neighborhood nor create any detriment to public safety, welfare, adjacent property. Noting the dimension footprint, as I mentioned. Member Lori Janko Wilkie made a motion to amend the zoning ordinance to allow the use of section 10.04C17. This would be the new numbering, a 4-unit dwelling as a special use. That motion was seconded by Member Grabowski and passed unanimously. Then a motion was made by Member Lucas of the Planning and Zoning Commission to grant a permanent special use to allow the 4-unit dwelling at this property. That motion was seconded by Member Atkinson, and it passed unanimously as well. So, are there any questions about the hearing? You're not adding an apartment building.
Apartment.
It's a unit.
Yeah, how many square feet is that unit?
I don't know the answer to that question, and it's not contained in your petition.
I think it's under 300 square feet, isn't it? That's pretty small. It's a pretty small space.
Yeah, I don't, it wasn't contained in the petition, looking through the correspondence. The total building is 20, oh, the portion is, here, in their cover letter, 21 by 42, and would become a one-bedroom apartment. So 21 by 42 is 800. Yeah, 21 by 42.
So it's what is the total square footage of the building?
42 by 63, or 2,646.
2,600 roughly?
46. 42 by 63, would be 21 by 42 over. So that's 800, and it's 2,600 roughly.
I have a question for the ward alderman. Have you had a chance to look at this?
I've been by it, and there is no altercation to the building or alteration, so I don't see a problem with it.
Okay. So,
I'll make a motion to,
Well,
Well, there's actually two things we have to do if you're gonna...
well, I was gonna receive the minutes and place on file. Okay, so we have a motion to receive the minutes and place on file.
I think Dave has them, but here's the original signature.
And then Alderman Ballard, you second the motion to receive the minutes, place on file? Okay, is there any discussion on that? All in favor signify by aye.
aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carried.
Okay, if somebody wants to make a motion in support, the first ordinance would be to amend the zoning ordinance to add as a special use in an R3 district in the dwelling and lot record. And then if that passes, the second ordinance would be to grant a special use for this property.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, to approve the ordinance as written in red.
Again, I vote no on.
Yeah, I don't really think we need a 4-unit dwelling in that zoning. We have an R4 zoning classification that if people want to get it rezoned, they can. And it'll be spot zoning, so this was basically an end run around having it rezoned because you can't get it rezoned.
That's the only other point. We're not changing the zone.
Because we can't, it would be spot
The
zoning.
motion would be to allow as a special use.
So this impacts the entire zoning ordinance for the entire city, and I'm gonna vote no also.
I think we had a very similar issue on south of Peru in the Market Street area where we had an apartment complex that had, I think, 5 very small apartments at the point in time. There, of course, was a fire and damage incurred in that just because of the density, the amount of people in that area. Now, I'm not saying that this is a safety issue or wouldn't pertain to it, but again, I don't think it's a real positive standpoint from the city of Peru.
Anybody else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll take a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Nay.
Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf.
Nay.
Lukosius.
nay.
Radke.
Nay.
Payton.
Nay.
Ballard.
Okay, what is that? 2 to 5? Okay, the ordinance does not pass as written in red. So there's no reason to go on.
There's no reason to consider the
There's
second
no reason to go to the next
We
one.
can't get a special use, so I don't authorize the word.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Attorney Klein.
Thank you all.
Okay, now we'll go Corporate Counsel Schweikert.
Yes, next are the minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission hearing on the extension of a special use for the Crossbridge Community Church. That's in the property, the old, for us old timers, Ben Franklin building that was, then became Lettercraft, and then after that, it was the Church of the Nazarene or the Harvest Community Church, but they merged. The Peru Church merged with the Ottawa Church, and the special use that was granted was to be able to use that property as a special use as a church, and it had time deadlines on it, and the recommendation of the commission was to continue to grant that special use for another 3 years. They requested a permanent special use, but it was just recommended to be granted to continue as a special use as a church for another 3 years.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes and enter them into the public record.
Do we have a second? Have a motion second to receive the minutes placed on file. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
To the appropriate ordinance extending the special use for that property for 3 years, which would, that's property at 1723, 1725 4th Street in Peru, so that special use would then continue for 3 years until October 30th, 2020.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we grant the ordinance as written and read, please.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Then I'll have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Next, there was the petition of David and Mary Hoover concerning the property at 1517 Peoria Street, which I believe was last used as Vinnie's Tap. And they're requesting first a text amendment to the zoning ordinance within a neighborhood shopping district to add as a special use a bar and grill. All members of the commission were present and except Callskull. Mr. Hoover stated he's owned the property for 12 years. It's vacant, but was previously operated as a bar for 50 to 60 years. There were previous issues with customers of the bar exiting the side door and smoking cigarettes. He stated now he's purchased the lot that comprised the former Suarez Insurance Agency that burned down, so that'll have approximately 20 off-street parking spaces for use of the bar. He's planned renovations to the property. There were written approvals signed by the neighbors of adjacent property. And Daniel Blackburn is apparently going to run the bar, says he wants to attract the earlier late shift retiree crowd and be open at 7 to 8 o'clock a.m. and close an hour or so before the city's required closing hours. He wants to have people can enjoy some food and drink after work with gaming machines and dart leagues. There will be a kitchen. Initially, he'll just serve appetizers from the kitchen. Patrice Nemi stated she owns a property to the north, and the upper level of her property is a leased apartment with small children. She presented a document entitled Concerns for Reopening a Bar, and the essence of her testimony was that she has concerns, but if Mr. Hoover does as he states he's going to do concerning ingress and egress to the bar and parking, she voiced no objection. And the commission unanimously recommended both, one, the text amendment And then two, that this subject property be granted such a special use as a bar and grill.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive the minutes and place on file?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second to receive the minutes and place on file. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. I think this bar has been in a residential
Anybody else? Okay, we'll take a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Poff.
Well, the first motion is to receive the minutes.
Yeah,
Just read
all in favor of the minutes.
And then we'll present.
I have a motion, a
amendments
second
for
on that.
text amendment.
All in favor of receiving the minutes, place on file.
Aye.
Okay, now we'll go to the
We
order.
have an ordinance, amending the zoning ordinance by adding as a special use, text amendment, section 11.02 D6, bar and grill, within that zoning classification. And on that, you could entertain a motion.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read? Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Who was the second, Alderman Payton? We have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Alderman Poff.
Nay.
Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Nay.
Okay, I have four, what do we have there, 5-2?
Yes.
5-2, motion approved.
Then we have, ordinance granting a special use as a bar and grill, this property located at 1517 Peoria Street.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve this ordinance as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Have a motion second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion?
I have one question.
Alderman Radke?
What is, we're creating a special use, what is the city's ability if it does become a difficult situation? Can we rescind that special use at any time?
No. Not the way it's written. On a special use, you could put in, conditions, and, that would afford you the opportunity to, one, enforce those conditions or change it, so, I mean,
But again, that'd be very difficult to do.
yes, it would.
I mean, almost impossible. So once you're going to a special use, you're basically allowing it to happen. Despite any problems you would have, despite anything happening, it would still be what it is.
Okay, anybody else? Any more comment? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Poff.
Nay.
Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Nay.
Okay, that's 5-2, motion approved.
Next, you have a petition of JPG Commercial Real Estate LLC. This would be the property that's just south and within what appears to be part of the Rural King parking lot to the south, contiguous to 38th Street at the northwest corner of Progress Boulevard and 38th, where they're requesting two variances to build a new Goodwill store on that property. Jeff Greaves appeared on behalf of the petitioner concerning the property, and they're requesting a variance on the south yard setback to allow the drop-off zone, as you see on the existing Goodwill on the west side of 251. So it would be that drop-off canopy area that would encroach within the south yard setback, and that's where the variance is requested there, and they're also requesting a variance on the north yard setback, but I understand there'll be common ingress-egress parking easements between this property, which are two recorded lots of record, and the Wilking property to the north. It was also recommended unanimously by the Planning Zoning Commission.
Do we have a motion to receive the minutes and place on file?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
Where is the,
Well, there'll be two I mean, one will be on the south side directly off 38th Street, but there'll also be one off on Mahoney Drive.
Okay. I just somewhat see that problematic.
There's two existing commercial entrances there. They're going to utilize the same existing commercial entrance.
Okay, you're not going to add anything to
there
30?
is, isn't there ingress and egress off of Progress Boulevard also?
There is, yep. That's correct.
There isn't an access from 38th, is there?
No, there's no access from 38.
Sorry, the two existing on Progress and Mahoney.
So
Those
there's
will remain
And this 38th, I think, will be for the drop-off.
for the drop-off.
You don't see it as a traffic problem whatsoever? Okay.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, to receive the minutes placed on file. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
No.
Yeah, it'd be the south portion of their parking lot. Those are two lots.
Those lots are already subdivided.
Yeah, they're lots 37 and 38 of Progress Park Second Edition. Then you have an appropriate ordinance that would reduce the north yard setback from 20 feet to 11 feet, and then the south yard setback from 40 feet to 19 feet.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve this ordinance as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Is there any discussion? Have a roll call, quick call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Prokosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Next year, an ordinance establishing the regular meeting dates of the Peru Recreation Board.
Oh, you skipped one.
If you skip should we skip the variance for Jeff Paul?
CF Industries, sewer easement.
Oh, we're waiting on that, because that hearing is going to be the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, which I think's November 26th, 21st, okay.
So tabling the CF.
Yeah, because it'll be part of that annexation agreement.
About 28th Street, just,
Yes, we had that administrative variance for Jeff Paul. Do you have that? That was emailed out to everybody, and there's an administrative variance for the Jeff Paul, resident 733 28th Street. That's one that's approved by the neighbors, the chairman of the Planning Zoning Commission, Bederstadt, and the alderman of that ward. This would be Lot 2 in Trevero's addition, that would allow a detached accessory storage shed, pool house containing 624 square feet upon the property instead of not more than 150 square feet is restricted by the zoning ordinance. So there's a pool there now that's presently fenced in, and this would add a pool house and storage within that fenced-in area.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve this ordinance? Have a motion second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
You have that ordinance establishing regular meeting dates for the Peru Recreation Commission.
Yes.
You have that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for a motion for all
The meeting dates?
1, 2, 3, 4 for the meeting dates for the Peru Recreation Board Committee, for the Peru Public Services Committee, for the Peru Finance and Safety Service Committee, and for the regular City Council meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the ordinances as written and read. Is there any discussion?
We're leaving all the meeting dates as normal, Monday nights, every other Monday, Wednesday for the committees, whatnot.
That's correct. There's a couple of judgment calls around the holidays that tie in with the disbursement cycle. Other than that, as norm.
Okay, we'll have a roll call vote, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff. Aye. Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved. Anything further from the attorney? Have anything further, clerk?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll move to unfinished business. Any unfinished business? Any new business? Okay, we'll ask for a motion to appoint Laura Hall as special corporate counsel. Attorney Swigert, did you want to say a couple things?
Yes, Laura's been with the LaSalle County State's Attorney's Office the past 10 years and has now been with our office for about the past month, and just as she can appear on behalf of city matters in court, she'd also be appointed an assistant corporation counsel. Laura, why don't you stand up? She is.
Okay, do we have a motion? Second came Alderman Payton. Okay, we'll have a roll call vote, clerk call the roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved. Okay, petitions, communication. We can go back to work.
Billable hours.
All right, Ms. Janice Grabowski came in around October 10th. The letter is dated October 10th, 2017, to the Honorable Mayor Scott Harrell and Peru City Council. I have served on the Peru Parks and Recreation Board for over a decade now. It has been my absolute honor to do so. Serving on this board has shown me how rewarding active citizenship can be and instilled me an appreciation for our city leaders and city employees. I will resign my position on the Parks and Recreation Board at the close of the November 14, 2017 meeting. I commend our current Peru Parks and Recreation Board for their forward thinking and dedication. Ray Zabrowski has demonstrated outstanding leadership in his consecutive terms as board chairman. The City of Peru is fortunate to have these individuals serving. I wish the City of Peru every continued success. Thank you for this opportunity. Warmest regards, Janice M. Grabowski, Peru Parks and Recreation Board. And I want to say thank you to Janice. She was on the board for quite a while. She was a wonderful board member, and it's time to retire and move on to a few other things. So with that, like I said, I want to thank Janice, and then with that, if anybody, that leaves a vacancy, so if anybody has intentions to be on the board, please send a letter addressed to Mayor Harrell, and so we can start interviewing people so we can have that position filled as soon as possible. Alderman Waller. Yes, we will. So do we have a motion to receive the communication and place on file with regrets of the resignation of Janice Podolsky?
Second.
Alderman Payton? Okay, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Next, communications from Eugene Judge requesting a special use. The language is interesting on this, for an automobile laundry. It's a tunnel car wash, so we're gonna need, a special use authorization, so we need to refer to planning and zoning.
That will also be on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. There is a special use within that zoning classification now under the zoning ordinance. It refers to it as an automobile laundry, that this is proposed to be one of those express car washes. This would be where that, quick oil changes. No, this is on the Money Drive by Super Bowl.
Across from Old King Parking Lot.
Did they buy the property then?
Really, I have a contract to,
I've seen a bunch of, I mean, they're nice, but you need some property to do this.
well, it's a pretty good piece of property.
There isn't enough property, that's all.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna raise that or not, Tony. I mean, that's what the hearing's about, so.
Okay, we have a motion, I don't have a second yet, to receive communication placed on file.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to receive the communication placed on file and turn over to planning and zoning for review and recommendation. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Final communication, Your Honors, from David Kirkowski requesting variances for property located at 1809 Joanne Drive.
I'll make a motion that we refer this to planning and zoning.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to receive the communication placed on file and turn over to planning and zoning for a review and recommendation. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye. All opposed, motion carried.
No further communication.
No further communications. Public comment. Do you have any public comments, anyone? Any public comment at this time? Last chance for public comment? No one? Closed session, I'm not aware, so that's a no. None?
A closed session, 3 days.
Closed session, 3 days. So do we have a motion for adjournment? Meeting adjourned.